Kris coming at you with Across the Line, New Brunswick's favorite sports talk show. We have got a great show lined up here for you tonight. We're going to touch base with the first place Moncton Wildcats here in the Quebec Maritime Hockey League. We have got head coach Gardiner MacDougall. We have got newly acquired defenseman Dylan Gill, and we have got forward standout Caleb Desnoyers leading the team in scoring here with the Cats. So stay tuned to check out those interviews. Going to be great. Not to mention, we're going to get you caught up here on all the action. We are going to actually talk speaking with Coach MacDougall, we touch on the trade deadline here. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since Christmas, so we'll get you caught up here on all the news. So a couple of great additions here to the Cats coming into the trade period. First of all, they acquired Max Cote out of Sherbrooke, really solidified their top 6, top 9 here forwards, chipping in offensively. Great on the defensive side as well. Full 200-foot game. So he's been a nice addition here, really solidifying some depth up front for the Moncton Wildcats. They also went out and acquired. Last year now, Coach MacDougall went to the AHL to get Nico Savoie to the UNB Reds. This year, back to the AHL, he brings in Riverview native Dylan Gill to help solidify the blue line for the Cats. Really done a great job. Obviously, veteran leadership, going to finish out his career in the queue here with the Cats. Former captain with the Rwanda Huskies, but he stepped in, helped quarterback the power play. Really a veteran presence, right-hand shot on the blue line here for the Cats. So he's looked great in the black and red here of the Cats this year as well. And then another move may have surprised some people. Went out and acquired probably the standout goaltender in this year's class, Mathis Russo from the Halifax Mooseheads. Not that there's a Jacob Steinman was having a great year for the Cats, but I think the Wildcats just wanted to sort of get the best player available in that position, and Russo really fit the bill where he was available. I sort of harken back to when the Bathurst Teton won the Memorial Cup. They had a plethora of talent up front. They had Antoine Morin, they had Jeffrey Viel, they brought in Mitch Balmas, they had Rupsov, they had Noah Dobson on the blue line, they brought in Hallwell from Moncton. They were loaded to go. They were getting great goaltending from Riley Pickard and Dominic Tomei, I think. And, goaltender became available, so hey, they brought in Evan Fitzpatrick. As in, why leave anything to chance if you can upgrade between the pipes? Always the most important positions, especially going into a long playoff run. They went ahead and did that, so I think that really positions the Wildcats for success going into the second half of this season and for a long push into the playoffs. Not to mention, Russo carried a lot of the load, started the season here with the Moosehead. They had also acquired, sort of before Christmas, Rudy Guimau, drafted by Detroit, and he's done a great job. I think he's 6 or 7-0 here with the Cats. Quietly done a great job coming in, maybe playing a little sparingly, but successful when he's between the pipes, and hopefully that will give Russo here a little breather as we go down the stretch to keep him fresh for playoffs. Obviously, last year with the Reds, Coach MacDougall didn't, sort of had the luxury of having 2 standout goaltenders with Richard and Outhouse, so he was able to just rotate each goalie game for game. So I think you'll see as we get down the road here with the Cats, Russo may draw into to the big games here, obviously with his playoff experience and Team Canada experience. That's really what I think the Cats were looking for to solidify between the pipes here for that D-core. So again, some great moves here for the Cats, really setting themselves up in a nice position to be successful here the second half of the season. Again, leading the points race here, sitting in first place in the Quebec Maritime League. So exciting to see, and really something you don't want to take for granted either. Some pretty magical time here at the Avenir Center with the season that the Cats are having, and obviously a lot of fans are looking for some playoff success as well, but really something to take in and really sort of celebrate the success as it happens here, as a lot of the players working hard to achieve some great things. So looking forward to seeing some more action there from the Avenir Center. You're going to enjoy those interviews with the players and the coaches, obviously, but I guess moving forward here, we talked about Jacob Steinman continuing his great play with Halifax. He's been top 3 stars here 4 of the 5 games he's played. They've beat Rimouski, they've beat Chicoutimi, even after dealing away most of their talent at the deadline. So Steinman continuing his stellar play with the Moose. And another New Brunswick native really standing out here between the pipes, Calvin Pickard with the Edmonton Oilers. 9-1 in his last 10. Having a great season here with the Oilers. Really backing up Skinner here, but really a guy that you can count on for the Oilers as a big part of their success now that Edmonton's sitting second in the Western Conference here. Great to see Winnipeg sitting in first as well, so two Canadian teams sort of atop the Western Conference here in the NHL, which has been a while since Canadian teams have been that dominant. I guess this past week as well, the NHL came out and announced that they were going to be increasing the salary cap incrementally here the next 3 years, going up from I think 88 million up to about 130 million here in 27-28, which is great news for the players. Obviously, extra earned revenue going to be shared here with them, bumping up some salaries. But at the same time, when you look at this from a Canadian perspective, the Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since 1993. Montreal, the last team to do it. When you look at state tax versus what you're taxed in Canada, when you look at that cap going up now, free agents, players that, hey, I can sign an $8 million contract in Florida and clear more money than signing a $11.5 million contract in Canada sort of thing. So the competition between the Canadian teams and those U.S.-based teams going to be interesting to see as that salary cap increases. And if the Canadian dollar, which is why Quebec and Winnipeg had moved back in the 90s, obviously the exchange rate just hard to compete with those when those salaries are paid U.S. dollars. Interesting to see how some of these small market Canadian teams are going to compete with some of these large market U.S.-based teams with no state tax. And if that Canadian dollar continues to weaken, your 130 million salary cap will be more like 200 million revenue Canadian that you have to bring in to be able to meet that cap. So interesting to see the financial side of it and how that'll play out for Canadian teams going down the road. Like I said, we're already at 30 plus years here without a cup in Canada. So to say that Canadian teams are due is an understatement. So we'll try to take a little solace, I guess, in the Four Nations coming up here, February 12th to 20th. Get to see best on best action. Hopefully teams are healthy enough. Looking forward to seeing Canada versus U.S. I want to see, you don't get to see the Crosby sort of line up with McDavid or McKinnon here. So interesting to see some of the line matchups and if it is the state of where Canadian hockey is here with the lineup they're going to be able to ice. It looks like a pretty solid roster. The only question mark will really be in net here for Canada with Bennington, Hill, and Montembeault. We'll see if one of those goalies can step up here to the bright lights and backstop Canada to a series win. But should be some great best on best hockey. Looking forward to seeing some of that. What else hockey wise here? Well, I guess we're just talking big games and big action. We're going to talk obviously this weekend coming up, Super Bowl February 9th from New Orleans as the Kansas City Chiefs look to three-peat and really solidify their dynasty as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a great game strategically. Philadelphia, probably the stronger team in the trenches, O-line, D-line. If they can get out there and really impose their will, run the ball with Saquon, that'll put a lot of pressure on that Kansas City defense, who's been pretty good blitz package coverage-wise, but even Buffalo exposed some of their run defense shortcomings. So we'll see if Philadelphia can take the game to them physically and impose their will and control the clock and the ball with that offense. So interesting to see how that shapes up. I think for Kansas City, you want to put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands and make him beat you either with his arm or with his mind. I think that's where your best bet would be for the Chiefs, and obviously with their D coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, he's great at getting his defense ready to play here. Him and Andy Reid really, since Belichick's been out of the league, really the top coaching sort of tandem here in the NFL. So going to be two well-coached teams going at it. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And of course, once the game is over, hard to believe that signifies the end of another NFL season. Actually, another thing with that tush push from Philadelphia, which they've sort of innovated with the QB sneak, getting that additional momentum from the running backs, basically bowling into them. A bit of a sloppy play, hard to stop. Obviously, Kansas City, you try to jump the snap count. Sometimes you have the linebacker come over top. But interesting to see if Philadelphia can impose that on Kansas City. And really a play illegal in the Canadian game, tandem buck, where you're not allowed to help the ball carrier advance from behind in such a fashion. So interesting to see how if that play plays a factor here in the Super Bowl weekend. But like I said, great sporting weekend. Spring training's on the go as well. The Jays are headed to Dunedin, so great time of year. Great to be back in your living rooms here with Rogers TV, and you can catch us right back here next week on Across the Line. We'll see you then. All right, we're here with Moncton Wildcats head coach Gardiner MacDougall of first place Moncton Wildcats. Great start to the season so far. Maybe just take us back and tell us a little bit how coming in your first year with the Wildcats, it's been great to get off to a success to start handing out.
No, I mean, full credit to the group, the players or staff. Or Mr. Irving has been just tremendous, and it's one of those really lifetime opportunities to have the honor and the privilege to be involved with the organization and the hockey team, and coming to a new league. I think it's. We get to play in a tremendous building, but we're getting up to Quebec. We've been down to Halifax, great buildings as well. But even at this, we're in Durand 2 weeks ago, and just the passion of the fans, and then just see here in Moncton the fan appreciation really growing for us, and supporting the team. And we got a big journey ahead of us here, but it's tremendous depth of support and tremendous with our group of trying to find ways to get better on a daily incremental basis.
Yep. Talked about heading to Rwanda. There's a big road trip here in Quebec. Spent some time out west in the WHL in order for some long road trips. What's it like to sort of get back on the bus and make some nice long road trips in the Cuba?
No, I mean, as I said, the group has been outstanding, and got great stats. Guys, Kris McDonald, the Graham Blacks, and the guys that helped them out have been tremendous. It's very professional on the road. Like it wouldn't be any different if you're wearing the colors of an NHL team, how the setup in the road and everything's taken care of for the guys. So it's been really neat to be involved in that scenario.
Yeah, talking about wearing the colors, their jerseys look pretty sharp. The red's black. Did you have any say in picking that color, the old UNB colors, or is that already done before you came on board?
I think the marketing group, whatever they come up with, it's tremendous to the fans. They've been a very popular seller. I think they're almost sold out with all the different jerseys, but they're tough on the video, I'll tell you, on the numbers. But if it's tough for us, obviously it's going to be tough for opponents as well. But no, I think just another aspect of the group that well organized these. That's very professionally done.
Yeah, no, that's true. I remember the first day we had the numbers blacked out at the back, so we went to the red one, so maybe a little easier. Successful year so far for you guys. Coming out, made a few changes here at the trade deadline. Brought in obviously a new goaltender or so. Addressed last year. You got Nico Sabo out of the AHL. This year, Dylan Gill. Maybe tell us a little what your focus was in the trade deadline. Sure, address that back here.
Yeah, no, I think Taylor and was his staff there, Rick and the scouts. Did a tremendous job for us. You look at they have a great foundation of the group that we hit, but I think Max Cote and the big addition for our group. Has really filled in, has played up and down the lineup for us, has contributed offensively, but I think just the way he plays the game, he's got great passion for the game. He's been a tremendous addition. Obviously, you get a chance to get a Dylan Gill back at this level. I think on the ice and off the ice. I mean, he's just, first of all, just a tremendous person. He's got a lot of great leadership qualities that can help go through this. He's been in the American Hockey League for half a year, so the standards, the standards we want to have, the standard is the standard, and I think he can, be a big part of that for us. That type of stuff at practice, just preparing for games, and it obviously team performance. I think it solidifies, their D unit, and then our goaltender to get them Matthews, Russo, just the pedigree he's had. We represented our country at the national level. He's been to the Quebec Major Junior League Final as an 18-year-old, and I think just the pedigree he has. I mean, we're very happy with our goaltender. First, that Lake Jacob Steinman was tremendous for us. Really led the way, and hope that Mateus can continue that and find a way to just get a little bit better as we go here.
Yeah, nice. I mean, had a great start to his tenure here with the Wildcats. Harken back to your UOB days, where you guys were 7 feet deep and deep, studs. Sort of see that developing here with Moncton, sort of how you've sort of built the back end here with that D4. All guys playing at the top level, to bring in with downhill, certainly also they up down.
Yeah, no question. We get 7. Very good needs. Unfortunately, Simon Mullen is playing his best hockey. He's been out with an injury the last 2 weeks, but really like his progression. But every D can make a contribution, and then you win your D in your goaltending here. We have some great forwards, but we're fortunate so far they have the best goals against and have the best penalty kill in the league, which is it's not easy to do. So we could just continue to build on that as we move forward here.
No, absolutely. Obviously, have some standouts up front as well. Obviously, Caleb did only career against leading the team of points. You had him at the under-18s this summer as well, which you brought him a gold medal. Maybe tell us what your experience in the summer representing Canada and those, but bringing out some goals.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, again, lifetime opportunities to represent your country at the under-18 in February back in the spring there. And at that time, obviously, you didn't know that Caleb would be the honor to be the coach him as a 17-year-old in our league here. But that's we had a tremendous group over there as well, and that continued to get better each and every day. We had good depth. Our goaltender Carter George, who represented our country here with the under-20s, was phenomenal over there. It was a big part, a big contribution for our success. And good depth, a very strong team. We have Nat Schaefer, that's certainly if he's not number one right now, but he was tremendous for us. He's continuing to get better. So that was really, really neat. That's for sure. Kayla's been phenomenal for us. Yeah, and first of all, he just goes back to just such a great person. He's got just one of those personalities that are very elite. On and off the ice. I said, you make the NHL, Caleb, you're going to have the rosiest cheeks at your practice. He brings so much energy, so much enthusiasm, and obviously his skill set and his compete factor are key ingredients is success of the Moncton Wildcats so far, and will be as we move forward here.
That's I love it. Went to practice and then practicing last year, going undefeated. Or just as bright. I would practice with the squad game. Maybe tell us a little Christmas break, sort of get back to the practice routine here, and what these look us to, sort of through on our workouts and going forward here process.
Definitely, we get a lot of hockey. We've had 69 practices so far this year, which is tremendous for us. We just came through a stretch, 11 games, 22 days, and some travel up north and Quebec, and you get one practice, maybe two. This week was good for us. We tried to get some time for themselves, just get their energy back. But we had a couple of really good practices. It showed last night in our response against Bathurst, which was a disappointing outcome up in Bathurst last Sunday. I like the response. Tonight wasn't quite where we wanted to be, but I think the practice is a key foundation. You hope that you can build enough habits that in the games they can bring the practice to the game. They've practiced really, really well all year for us, and you played big moments in big teams. You hope that you always fall back to your level of training. I hope that we get enough time to really be a lead at the practice caliber and what we bring into the games.
Yeah. So going into the next stretch, again, 3 games, almost a mini series with King Brett coming up. They've been through since Christmas with the trade deadline. Physical team. How do you approach the next level? Is this almost like this test going into getting ready for playoffs, or just taking one game at a time?
They've been a great opponent for us. We had 3 games first half, and you need good opponents. Yeah, you need opponents that push, and they're certainly playing great hockey. And well coached, had a good group there, so it'd be a really good test. But we get better by having good opponents, and I got a good opponent coming Thursday night. Keep right.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good series. Look forward to seeing the rest of the way. A lot of excitement leading into the playoffs here. Not that far away, and like I said, the Wildcats played some great hockey here, so look forward to seeing some more Wildcat action here at the Avenir Center. Big thanks to Gardiner MacDougall for taking some time.
Yeah, Kris, tremendous questions. Thanks. Appreciate the report.
No,
yep.
Thank you.
Take care.
Nothing right.
All right.
Thanks, Gardiner.
Thanks. Yeah, good show.
All right, sports fans, we are here at the Avenir Center with Moncton standout superstar Caleb Desnoyers. Having a great season there for the Wildcats, leading the team in points and goals. Top three here really in points in the league. Maybe tell us about how your season's gone so far since starting the year.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's just a pretty good group. We're working really hard, and the fact that we're the first in the league also helps. Got to give a lot of credit to my teammates and ours. That definitely makes a great job for us.
Yep. Like I said, you've done a great job. Young player, second year in the league, sort of centering the top line here for the Wildcats. Get some pretty good wingers with you usually on your line, Picard, and Sump. Maybe tell us about how great of an influence they've been on your success.
Yeah, well, I think I did for a good line. It often starts off the ice. And I think, our chemistry and how close we are and how tight we got since the start of the year really help us. I think it makes a big difference when we get on the ice. So it helps us to find each other more easily.
Yep. So had a great start to the season. Made an appearance at the Top Prospects game. Made a name for yourself there as well. Obviously, your style of play there. Some intensity off the opening draw there against Team USA. Maybe tell us about your experience playing here for the Top Prospect team.
That was great. It's always awesome to play in those type of international events to represent Hockey Canada. It's so fun to see about that prospects and to think I'm growing myself, but also to see them on crazy university meetings. So it was a great experience on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It put some eyes at that tournament. Except leading the team in goals here. But you're always such a pass-first playing into the eye, and you probably have 12 or 15 goals. It's just should have just because you're trying to dish in the slot. And it tells you how creative you are sort of on the offensive side. That always set up your teammates.
That was since I'm young. It's always been part of my mentality to try to miss the plays and be a spot. Sometimes also have to shoot a bit more to make my cast after easier, but I think it's part of my game to make the players around me better. So working towards it this year.
Yeah, doing a great job so far this year. Congrats on your season so far, and all the best the rest of the way.
Good luck.
Thanks, Caleb.
Have a good day.
All right, sports fans, we're here with new Moncton Wildcats representative, Mr. Dylan Gill. Dylan, tell us how great it feels for you to be back in your hometown here, being able to play for your, childhood favorite team here, the Wildcats.
Yeah, obviously it's super special for me. Getting on the jersey every game now, it's super special. And getting to go home at night every day is definitely something that I haven't grown accustomed to recently. So it's a nice change for sure.
You've absolutely fit right in here with the Wildcats. Maybe tell us a little bit. You've been here a couple of weeks, already quarterback in the power play. Success tonight, scoring a goal. Maybe tell us about how fun that's been for you to come back and sort of create a grand specialist.
Yeah, I think a lot of that kind of comes down to the group that they assembled in the dressing room prior to me arriving. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, super supportive. Everybody, built a lot of good friendships on the first road trip right off the bat. So I think that's super important, having that chemistry off the ice, and then obviously it's starting to translate on the ice to better production. So I think that's where it starts.
Yeah, pretty interesting year for yourself, obviously playing in Rwanda previously, about 20 plus games in the AHL this year. Tell us how that experience was being able to play at the pro levels at so older guys.
Yeah, obviously it was a super good experience for me coming off my shoulder surgery last year. I think it was great for me to be able to get that pro experience, and then obviously getting coming back here to have a chance to chase the championship at the Wildcats. I think that experience is going to help in this lots of things. I think I have a lot to bring to this team. I think it's going to help us in the long run of things.
Yep. How did playing at that higher level benefit you? Was it sort of adapting to the time, the speed or reaction time?
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
Obviously, it's a huge difference. If you're playing against men that have families at home and stuff like that. Obviously, not stuff that you experience when being junior. So, obviously everybody's bigger, faster, older, stronger. But I think it was great for me to be able to get myself accustomed to playing at that pace, and then obviously just trying to keep all those standards and all the pro habits and try to bring everything that I was there back here with the Wildcats
as well. speaking of Rouen, former captain for the Rouen Huskies, how great is it for the folks out having to drive to Rouen to catch some of the games, to be able to just hop across the bridge here?
Yeah, no, obviously they're loving it. Having home every day. Obviously get to see my dog a lot more accents. Get to hang out with them every night. Have home cooked meals for mom. So it's definitely a nice change for me. It's definitely getting used to it now.
Yep. Well, Wildcat fans are getting used to seeing you on the ice, quarterback in the power play. Great job so far, and I look forward to seeing you down the stretch.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.